Howdy folks, I'm a soothing, singing vole, sweetly serenading with soft songs.
I'm Amber.
And here are more soft songs for us to serenade you with. Oh no, they're Reddit stories, and they weren't soft songs at all. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Asking a Guest Not to Crochet at My Bachelorette Party? I'm a 28-year-old female and I'm getting married this year. Yay! And I went on my bachelorette party trip last weekend. The trip was a cabin type setting where we all stayed in the same house. I have 3 bridesmaids, but also invited some friends to come along. Part of the group is my brother's girlfriend, a 36-year-old female. Brother is 38-year-old male of 5 months who isn't in the wedding party. She wasn't initially invited because I don't really know her that well and they live in another state, but my brother asked me to invite her as a favor to him. He said that she's never been invited to a bachelorette party and likely never would be. I have no idea why. This is just what he told me, and I hope that she could have this experience. Since people would be paying their own way and the group wasn't that huge, I figured, why not? She seemed like a nice enough person. Well, the problem is that during the weekend, she would insist on crocheting all the time, even during our events and games. When I asked her to participate with us, she just said that she took time off for this trip and wanted to make the most of her vacation by catching up with her crochet projects, and that playing games and hanging out with my friends wasn't fun, and she didn't want to waste her days off. Her words, not mine. To be clear, I don't care that she wants to crochet. In general, most of our activities ended after dinner anyways, and we would just hang out in the living room. I just asked her to save the crocheting for at night after the activities. My issue was that she was taking her crocheting with us to places like wine tasting, brunch, a museum tour, etc. It was all super disrespectful in my eyes because she would insist on coming, yet wouldn't participate in any of the activities. Honestly, I was bothered that she was crocheting when we were playing bridal games, but at least that was in our living room. The trip is over now, but apparently she was super peeved that I asked her to limit her crocheting time, and my brother's been pestering me to apologize to her for ruining the trip. I personally don't feel that I should, because she shouldn't have come to the bachelorette party if she didn't want to do bachelorette type things. But I also love my brother very much, and I don't want this to come between us. I'm starting to doubt myself because his girlfriend sounds really annoyed with me. Please help. Edit, I wanted to add some details in case this helps because I think people think that I'm being a bridezilla. She was crocheting a throw blanket about the width of my entire arm span that she was carrying around with her to dinner, museums, wineries, etc. It wasn't a small thing like the size of my palm. She also had the materials for the blanket with her, about 5 balls of yarn. I'm not sure what you would call it, but each ball was about the size of a cantaloupe. We gave her the option to stay home and told her that I wouldn't be offended if the trip wasn't her style and she wanted to spend it crocheting. But she insisted on coming out with us to every single event. Even though my brother asked me to bring her, she admitted that she wanted to come and that she had asked my brother to ask me. She doesn't have social anxiety. She just thought that our activities were boring and a waste of her time. I mentioned this in another comment, but I overheard her calling my bachelorette party a basic B bachelorette. But I didn't want to confront her because I didn't want to cause drama. My biggest issue isn't that she isn't giving me the attention. Please, I'm a grown adult woman and I already am thankful for the friends giving me love and joy during the weekend. I just thought that it was super rude to crochet such a big project during group activities. She literally brought the blanket to a museum and crocheted during a private tour. All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. From the title, I thought I was going to go the other way. Like, it's one thing to want to crochet during downtime. That would have been totally fine. And even, maybe if they were doing some activities at wherever they were staying, ones where you, like if you're just talking, you can crochet and talk at the same time. Like a trivia game or something. But to be crocheting everywhere, bringing it on guided tours, that seems excessive. And the way how insulting she was about OP's activities, she begs to be invited. She insists on coming on everything, but she won't leave the blanket at home. It's like either these are good enough activities for you to want to come on them, and you should come without the blanket, or they're too boring for you and you can stay home and crochet, but not both.
So I want to highlight a quote for a moment here. He said that she's never been invited to a bachelorette party and likely never would be. OP says they have no idea why, and this is just what he told me, and that he hoped that she could have this experience. I think I understand why she has never been invited to a bachelorette party.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, she's lugging around this giant Afghan and 5 skeins of yarn. Like, I don't even know how she managed. Like, did she have them in like a shopping cart or something? Like, or the world's largest tote bag?
So, yeah, I mean, beyond her crocheting, she's just a rude, unpleasant individual, right? She's inattentive. She is making this all about herself, and she's, rude with her comments. She just isn't a pleasant person to be around, and OP found out that firsthand. OP did this as a favor. She wasn't entitled to join them on this trip, and she's acting like she is doing OP a huge favor by even just being there, right?
Right. She's, oh, this is my vacation. Like,
Yeah, well, it's her bridal party.
well, that's the thing, is like, this wasn't just a general group outing. A bachelorette is specifically to celebrate the bride-to-be. And so, yes, you do want to take into account everyone's needs, but a little more attention should be paid to the bride-to-be because this is literally celebrating her.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Amber wants to ask the wheel, so that's what we're going to do. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP has earned. You're the jerk and the villain of your own story.
Okay, the wheel is the girlfriend.
You're drunk, Wheel. Go home.
Or maybe the wheel just really likes, has a very unhealthy,
Obsession
interesting
with
crochet.
Yeah, the wheel is like, I crochet all the time. What's wrong with this?
I'm crocheting as I give you judgments.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Today I messed up. My husband thinks that I'm possessed. This literally just happened, and now my husband is never going to let this go. I have no idea how to explain to him that he's wrong. We were arguing, simple, small arguments that couples have. We've been married for 10 years and have a lovely 8-year-old together. Arguments happen very rarely between the two of us. I truly believe that he's my soulmate, but now he thinks that I'm possessed. Before the argument started, I sent our kids to go play a video game because we don't argue in front of her. We don't raise our voices at each other, but I did mess up and I called my husband a dick-inch dingy, which literally makes no sense. I felt awful and his face dropped and he just stops. He goes out to the car. I'm freaking out, thinking that I've lost my husband and I've ruined everything. I check the Ring cameras and see that he's coming back inside, so I start preparing to apologize to him. But no, he lights a freaking sage and then wafts it around the air, saying that he didn't appreciate that type of language and that the bad spirits were in the air. My husband said that I look completely demonic, calling him such a name, and insisted on walking around the house and me saging everything. At first, I thought that it was funny and I was apologizing, but now he's been saying since I apologized and was laughing, it worked. Therefore, I am demonic. Note, we are not religious, teacher and a nurse, but now I'm going to be saged by my husband every argument. Edit, thank you to everyone who commented. We're laughing together and are happy to see what you had to say. There is no concern here. He's a good man and thought that it would be funny. He said that he had the sage in his car because it was given to him by his aunt. She's a wonderful woman and is very spiritual. Apparently, she gave him some cinnamon to blow into the house at the first day of every month and some sage to clean his house. We love reading the comments and waving the white flag and calling him a sage dick dingy. I hope you have a wonderful day and thank you again for the laughs and advice. All right, folks, what do you think of this one?
I mean, I love OP's insult. Like, it's just, so nonsensical. I've literally used it myself on things. I was like, why is my brain being such a dickish dingy today? And so it's nice for the laughs. And it seems like her husband was able to redirect things and lighten the mood when they were getting pretty tense. And so, it seems like everyone's happy, everyone's laughing now, and I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was probably trying to call him a dick and or a ding dong or at the same time or something like that, and it probably just came out as the words getting muddled together like that. And certainly, I think we all say things that we regret in the moment, and I'm just glad that this ended up being something that was funny and not something that ended up ruining the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And so again, it's one of those things where you can never take back what you've said, so be careful about what you say.
But sometimes you might also get the most epic insult.
Yes.
So
So yeah, I guess what Amber is saying is make sure to light that fire and insult
no,
people.
don't. It's a funny story,
I'm just kidding. I'm
and
just kidding. Amber didn't say that.
no.
And, but let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck.
Wheel is Brian being a dick and stingy.
And random guy here, 983 says, isn't he just messing with you like a joke and not actually meaning it for real? And OP replies, yes, it was just for the laughs. And Froggy Lufa says, looking for anyone to join my new band, Dick and Stingy. And OP replies, ayo, I'm sending my husband along. And Seraphim Caduto says, laughter is the best medicine, it seems, as he found one funny way to call you out on whatever you had called him. I do believe he used the teacher skill of redirection on your argument. Source, my wife is a teacher and has managed to do that to me a few occasions. And OP replies, teacher spouses. My husband hit back with it hard. We're laughing now, and I'm glad that I'm not the only teacher spouse to get redirected. And Seraphim Cadoduto says all the time, lol. Pro tip, if you want to throw them off or see if they're paying attention, randomly drop the words school, lakeshore learning, Danny Go, and creative curriculum while you're talking to them. I have other suggestions depending on the grade level. And OP replies, definitely send tips, middle school teacher. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after finding out only our side of the family were having to pay to attend? Obligatory, this is a throwaway account. Clarification, I am very active in a D&D sub that I don't particularly want tied to this situation. So my younger sister, Katie, a 28-year-old female, and her partner, Chris, a 29-year-old male, are getting married in April in Dubai. She has always wanted an extravagant wedding and is going all out on this, so the wedding is happening over 4 days. There's 70 guests, but they want me, my husband, and parents to stay in the same hotel with them along with the bridesmaids, which I'm maid of honor and groomsman. The hotel is pretty luxe, so with flights, this is costing us just over £2,900 each. Chris's family are also staying in the hotel, which includes his parents, 2 brothers, and his nephew. They are well off. I don't know exactly how much they have earned combined, but I know Katie is on $88,000 and she is the low earner. But about 6 months ago, Chris and Katie came to us asking to borrow about $17,000 more. They stressed that it would be a loan paid over time and said that the venue had increased the price. Dubai law was different, blah, blah, blah. They paid this money or they would lose the lot. We believed them and we offered to loan them $7,000 and my parents offered the other $10,000. So long story short, I have since found out through someone else that the $17,000 wasn't for the venue. It was for Chris's family to fly over. They saw how much it was going to be and didn't want to pay and refused to go. I asked Katie and she confirmed, so my first question was, if they're paying for his parents, why not pay for ours? I would never expect them to pay for me, even if we couldn't afford it. I would have wished them well and stayed at home. And her answer was because they can afford it. She got very defensive and said that this was the fairest way that she could think of doing it. It's hard enough planning a wedding, etc. But when I asked if you genuinely thought that this was the fairest way to do it, then why did you lie what the $17,000 was for and say it was for the venue issue? She couldn't answer. My parents are aware and are very disappointed that they had lied to them, but have said that they're still attending. But I have backed out. To me, it feels like my parents are being taken advantage of, and if they couldn't afford for both ours and Chris's parents, and his brothers and nephew, then they shouldn't have and just paid for 4 parents and no one else. And they especially shouldn't have lied about it. Katie and Chris keep calling and asking me to attend, saying that I'm making them feel bad and ruining their day. But the whole issue just feels icky to me. I'm genuinely an open book, so be brutal. Am I being the jerk here? Should I just get over it and go? Edit. Crumbs. That's a lot of comments. Haha. Thanks so much for everyone. Just wanted to answer a couple of questions and comments that have come up a lot. The repayment, my husband's brother is a solicitor and he kindly drew up a contract of repayment plan for both myself and my parents, so the money will be paid off in 12 months after the wedding. If they don't stick to this, I have access to a free solicitor. I hope that it wouldn't come to this, but that's why I have the papers for the worst case scenario. 2, Asking for the $7,000 back, I might be a soft touch, but asking for this back feels like a step too far. Like I'm mad, but not enough to actively try to ruin their wedding a few weeks before, which it feels like right now at least, which is what I would be doing. But hey, give me a few more days to stew. Edit. Thanks again for all the feedback, everyone. Just a quick FYI, a few people have asked about Chris's family or seem to have the impression that they're well off. I'm obviously not privy to their financial situation, but what limited amount that I do know from Katie has said that Chris's family grew up very poor. Before all this, I always thought that Chris was a lovely guy, but I had caught him in the odd but harmless white lie. Things like where he went to school, the type of house he grew up in, etc. I get the impression that he's embarrassed or resentful of his upbringing, given their lack of money, and this is how he now values his own self-worth, by how much money that he has. My guess is that when his family said that they couldn't go, he panicked and worried people would ask why they weren't there, and he would either have to say that they couldn't afford it, or he couldn't afford to pay for them. And look, his past trauma and experience is not for me to judge. But if that were the case, just make me more mad that they both didn't plan ahead and talk to friends and family about what they could afford before booking for Dubai. If it was such a deal breaker for his family to be there, they should have factored in the cost of paying for all the parents to attend instead of thrusting a $3,000 per person bill at them and expecting them to rock up. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think OP's in the wrong for being upset by this situation. It does seem like she and the parents were misled, but I think she needs to make the decision based on her own feelings and not as a gesture for her seeing her parents be wronged, because the parents have decided that they are fine enough to go ahead with this. So I think OP needs to weigh, is being lied to and deceived about what your money was used for a reason to like skip out on the wedding? And it is perfectly fine if it is. But I think OP needs to make the decision for herself and stop being like, this isn't fair to the parents.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about the size of it, right? I think that they caught them in a moment of vulnerability that they didn't want to admit, that they didn't grow up well off, right? And finances can be a very sensitive and touchy topic. And yeah, they shouldn't have lied about this. I'm not saying that they were right to, but they, I think, are worried about fitting in with what seems to be an upper socioeconomic, class, right? And maybe they're worried that they'll be judged differently or something like that. And certainly, like, that's not a reason to lie. And you shouldn't be embarrassed about whether you grew up poor or not. And there's just, you can't control what family you're born into, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's more important is to have people there who love you and will support you on your big day. And I do agree with OP that they should have planned a little bit further ahead, right?
Well, that's the thing. I think that, the sister and her fiance really needed to either wait longer to save enough money to do what they wanted to do, or they should have scaled down on what they were doing.
And it may be that because it sounds like they kind of expected everyone to pay their own way. They didn't expect the parents to back out. But I don't know how they could have not seen this coming if they don't have a whole lot of money, right?
That's the thing, is like, if our wedding had like a $3,000 per person like charge, like basically none of my family would have been able to show up.
I don't think anyone would have been able to show up. Yeah. I don't know if I know anyone who would have spent $3,000 to attend a wedding.
Yeah, and so like, it's like one of those things, like, you should have some idea, like if you have any idea of your parents' financial situations and they don't have a lot of money, why would you just expect them to be able to drop 3,000 pounds on a wedding?
Yeah. So I think it's an unfortunate situation, but I think that maybe OP can forgive and forget in this particular type of situation. And if they really feel this bad, maybe they can pay their parents back for their brother as a wedding gift. I don't know. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that OP should do that, because the parents are willingly going to the wedding at this point in time. It seems like they're a little miffed that they were deceived, but they don't have a problem with going to the wedding itself. And I mean, I think it would. So again, OP doesn't have to go, and I wouldn't say she's within the wrong if she feels like being deceived out of $7,000 temporarily, assuming this loan actually gets repaid, that could be a valid reason to not go to a wedding.
Yeah.
But she needs to, again, just like make the decision based on herself and not some perceived slight against the parents.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why did the brine shrimp always earn average grades?
Well, because they were Brian, and Brians earn average grades on average. On average, all Brians will earn average grades. It's true. It's an absolute fact.
I mean, there are enough Brians in this world that you probably do make a bell curve.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll make a bell curve. Pull all the Brian's grades together, and they'll have about average grades.
But we were talking about brine shrimp, not Brian shrimp.
Brian shrimp, yep.
Because it was a sea monkey.
Yeah, I like that. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
And today is Sock Monkey Day, so these both had monkey in the name, so.
Yeah, so go find yourself a sock monkey and, play with your Brian shrimp. And I have Mega Mint. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on what not to say to your partner when you're fighting.
I mean, I think calling someone a dick inch dingy actually might work out if it works out like this. I mean, in general, do not call your partner names. Like, if Opie had meant it in jest, I think that would have been different. Like, I think that given the context, she shouldn't have said it because it meant to actually be insulting. But, I mean, if you call your partner something very silly that you both know is like a joke, like, I don't have a good idea off the top of my head. I'm just like,
So make sure to go playfully insult your partner when you're arguing.
No,
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you
my
all
words.
tomorrow.
You're twisting my words. Nobody's getting a bye today. You're staring at me.
You just call me a dick inch dingy, and that'll make it all right.
No. Bye, everyone, but Brian. And bye to Brian, too, because I can't be that mean.
Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy fantastic for Friday.